Oh, how we doing?
We're doing great.
Doing well.
You know, it's a great evening. It's a late evening here in the Beehive. Sam's usually home tucking in the child, not children, soon to be children, but tucking in the child. But we're here. We got a guest artist, Justin Nudell. Justin Nudell.
Yes.
Well, welcome in here. I'm excited to hear about it. Sam tasked me. We're going to call this Just Buzzing Through, this little mini series here. It might be a series. It might be a mini series, whatever it turns into. You are the first guest artist to come through here and spot at this spot at the Beehive. So
Am I the first?
You are the first.
He is the first. So
You're my first.
You'll always be. I'll always be Sam's first. Everybody knows I'll always be Sam's first. I've got proof of that on my right arm. But you can also be Sam's first now. So I'm excited to hear how. I don't really know you. I know that I looked up some. I'm not a tattoo guy either. So if tattoo people are watching this, I'm the reason I'm doing this and the reason I'm hosting this and putting this together for Sam is because I do some podcasting. I have this equipment. Sam asked me to do this because I live in the basement. And so I'm affiliated to the tattoo industry by the fact that I live in the basement of a tattoo parlor. And my friend is Sam, who's a great tattoo artist and is kind enough to basically let me live in the basement. Not quite for free, pretty close to free. Yep. So, so just to plant that, I'm not like a technical tattoo guy, so I'll leave that up to you guys, but I'm excited to hear your stories and how you guys got to know each other. Sam, it looks like your art potentially influenced by this guy.
I'm very influenced by him. I've been for a long time, and I probably forever will be.
So how did you, he was tattooing, how long have you been doing it?
I've been tattooing for 21 years now.
21 years, dang. How old are you?
43.
43. So the math is, how old were you when you started? Jacob's not good at math.
I was probably around 21 years old, 20.
Okay. You can get into that mic a little bit closer. The people will want to, yes.
20 years old.
Oh,
Well,
there
that
you
was
go.
good.
Yeah.
Hey.
So 20. Sam, you were about the same age, 18, 20?
When I started?
Yeah.
No, 26
Well, when you officially started.
When I officially started. When I started dabbling, I was 18.
So when you started, how did you start? Did you start the right way? Were you doing tattoos in a trailer park? What was the path?
I did start the right way, but I also was at a trailer park. So, yeah, when I started, I knew I wanted to be a tattoo artist when I was probably in 10th grade. And, you know, I could have, the school that I went to, the high school that I went to, they would have let me take my apprenticeship as an elective because all I did was art in school all day, you know? So I talked to my art teacher like, hey, if I was able to get an apprenticeship at, during while I'm in high school, would you guys let me leave school as an elective?
Dang.
And they would have allowed it. And then I went to talk to the closest tattoo shop at the time, which was Tank's Tattoos in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. And I talked to him and he was like, sure, man, I'll apprentice you. $5,000. I'm like, well, do you want to see my art? He's like, well, do you have $5,000? And I was like, nah. So I kind of put that on the back burner for a little while because I obviously didn't have $5,000. And so I was just like, you know, maybe later. So further on down the road, I went to like a year of community college and pretty much fucked off in Duluth for a year, and then
that's where people go to mess around with their lives is Duluth.
Duluth,
It feels like everybody goes to Duluth to like just delete a portion of their life, you know.
It was like probably the funnest year of my life, hands down. And you know, kind of went to my year of community college and came back, you know, failed that and empty-handed, and my art teacher from high school actually got a hold of me and was like, "Hey, I think I found somebody that's looking for an apprentice." And I was like, "Really?" And there was this older hardcore kind of dude named Gary Miller in Litchfield, North Dakota, who actually had a tattoo shop, a legitimate tattoo shop in a trailer. He's kind of like a really cool dude from down south, really good dude. And I talked to him, went and met with him, and that's where I started my apprenticeship.
Okay, so North Dakota, and then so the time in Duluth, were you going to school for art, or what were you going to go to school for?
Just generals.
Just generals.
I didn't have a clue. I just kind of wanted to get out.
Just did the thing.
My mom's house.
Yep. So how was this apprenticeship? Talk about this apprenticeship in the trailer park with this guy.
Oh, he's a
And what year was this?
This
Just
was,
so we're tracking.
I would say probably like 2001.
Okay.
2001. Yeah, because I graduated in about 2000. So 2001, 2002, around there. And yeah, it was just like, tattooing was still pretty taboo back then. So it was just like a lot of bikers and some military people that wanted tattoos. I was kind of like, skater, snowboarder kid who drew a lot of pictures and didn't really fit in super great with that crowd, but it was like a really great opportunity for me. And I really liked Gary. He was a really, really cool dude. And I just kind of sat around and watched him do his thing every day, helped out however I could. And then eventually I started tattooing myself and my friends. And we'd all drive down from the lakes area here to there. And then I'd tattoo my friends and stuff. And eventually I started tattooing at like a biker bar in Valley City called Boomer's Bar.
So that apprenticeship was what, a year, 2 years?
I would say it was like a year and a half to 2 years.
And that's is that pretty standard for the industry? Depending on per person?
Yeah, depending on shop and person. And
Gotcha.
I would say it's pretty standard, a year and a half to 2 years.
You went out to Valley City and worked for somebody else then?
No, we would go, we would all set up at this bar called Boomer's Bar, which was like a biker bar in Valley City. And we'd set up as a shop there like once a week on like a Saturday night and tattoo all of these bikers and doing like,
sounds rowdy.
Hardcore. I was just like, I did not fit in at all, dude. And I was so nervous. Like all of these like huge jacked up bikers are like, I want a fucking eagle with some feathers and like my patch right here. And I'd be just shaking and sweating. So nervous.
were you drawn at this time, like starting your style that you're
I was
now?
Yeah, I was always into like the weird kind of illustrative new school kind of drawing. So like I was doing like a lot of Cherry Creek Flash, if you guys know what that is. And it was just really outside of, what I was used to. And I remember I always took so long and they would always be coming down on me like, you take so long, you just got to bang these out. And I'd be like, I don't know how to draw eagles, dude.
Interesting.
But
so that was a period of life. And then how did that transition? Because I didn't introduce you. You are the owner of Zoltar Tattoo. Is that the name of Zoltar?
Yep, Zoltar Tattoo.
Zoltar Tattoo in Fargo or Moorhead.
Moorhead. Yep.
Moorhead. So how, you fill in your career however you want to. Don't leave out any details if there are some cool stories in there. But how did you get to where you are with Zoltar?
Oh, it's been a long road.
Yeah, I don't want to like jump through it, whatever you want to talk about,
But basically I worked with Prairie Wind for like 3 years total. I think I was getting into a lot of trouble around then too. I got into drugs and stuff pretty heavy back then. And then I kind of parted ways with Prairie Wind and I decided I was going to open my own shop over here in Earhart, Minnesota, which I did. I opened it and it was open for about 6 months and then that got robbed.
Huh.
And then I was like in a really dark place because I had no insurance and I lost everything. So I like wouldn't come out of my mom's basement for probably like, I don't know, 3 months, I think. And then one of my friends from Fargo reached out to me and was like, hey, my buddy's opening a shop in Fargo called 46 and 2. Do you want to come talk to him and see if he's got a spot for you? And then I was like, well, hell yeah, I'll go talk to him. And I went and talked to Paul Johnson, the owner of 46 and 2. And then we hit it off pretty well, and I started working over there. I worked over there for 3 years. Then I moved to Below Radar, which was downtown Fargo. I worked there for about 3 years. Then there's kind of like an area of my life where I was getting into a lot of trouble. And I went to jail for a little bit. And then I decided I wanted to get clean, so I got clean. And nobody really wanted to hire me around Fargo anymore because of my reputation. And, you know, because of, you know, my partying and all of that. So, you know, I talked to a couple shops who I really wanted to work with, and, you know, they were like, you know, man, like, you're a good artist, you're a good dude, but like, I just don't want any of the trouble, you know? And I was just kind of, I think one of them said, you know, you could probably get like a job at an art supply store. And I was crushed.
The world would have missed out, that's for sure.
And I was crushed. And shortly after, Golden Needle reached out to me, which was a shop in Moorhead, Minnesota. And I think one of the counselors where I was doing my inpatient treatment, her husband got tattooed there, and they were like, yo, they're looking for an artist. And then all of a sudden I got a call from the owner at the time of Golden Needle, and I worked there for 5 years, and I really put in my best over there and continued to stay clean. And then, you know, I always kind of wanted to open my own shop, and, you know, 5 years there. And then I transitioned at No Coast with a couple other artist friends. And then we transitioned at No Coast Tattoo for about a year. And then we opened up Zoltar about just a little over 4 years
So is it a
ago.
partnership?
Nope.
Okay.
But myself and two other artists that I've worked with, we all kind of transitioned from Golden Needle to No Coast to eventually
Like a
opening.
pack mentality, like moving like a pack.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
how many
dude.
artists do you have at Zoltar?
Right now there is a total of 4 artists.
Okay. 4 of you guys. And then you kind of do that. And I don't want to sound like a like a complete like idiot when it comes to tattoo styles. You do the neo new traditional, or talk to me about it.
New school.
New school. Talk to me about these different styles. Cause I assume, Eddie here does really good black and gray work.
Mhm.
Sam does a lot of color stuff. I assume your artists kind of have different styles. You probably have a style that you like to do.
Yeah, there's Zoltar. There's different ranges of styles. Adam likes to do like Japanese traditional, neo-traditional. Kelly does a lot of neo-traditional, black and gray realism. And she does phenomenal color work too, but she's mostly known for her black and gray work. And then we have Kenneth, who is just pretty much done with his apprenticeship, but he's a very traditional tattoo artist, still kind of finding his groove. And me personally, I really enjoy color. New school is always where my heart's been. You know, I like to draw just weird shit that people are like, why would anyone get that?
Right.
And neo-traditional. I
Yeah.
absolutely love doing neo-traditional as well. And sometimes my style crosses between both.
Yeah.
I would say.
I don't know what any of that means. I just know I was looking at some of your stuff online, and I was like, oh, this is like kind of a lot of like similar style. I mean, I can tell Sam's been I can see where he gets some, and I'm sure a lot of people that's a style, so that's probably very popular throughout the industry? Or
Yeah, like new school is a style, but like there's rules, or better to say like rules that we break for the new school. But the difference is like you see a Justin Nudell piece and it's like a new school style, but pretty much everyone knows it's Justin because it looks like a Justin piece. So it's like his own version of new school, the Nudell new school. I don't know what you would call it, but
Yeah, I mean, it's new school is like one of those words where it's like I don't really love the word or the style of what comes to it when you think of it. So I mean, I just kind of like doing weird, colorful, illustrative tattoos, you know.
so let's talk about tattoo. Sam and I have had some off the record tattoo philosophy conversations about
Yeah,
like
love to hear it.
about like, you know, they're artists. You've been doing it for a long time. You probably eventually get burnt out on doing butterfly tattoos, or, you know, like you've probably grown in your career to a point now where you can be a little bit more selective with the work you take on.
Yeah.
But do you have like a philosophy or an approach that you like to try to like manage your work and how you take that on, and how has that grown throughout your career? Because obviously when you were at the bar and you were taking whatever tattoos people were telling you to do,
Yeah.
this is what you do, you know?
Yeah. I like to focus on, you know, the style that I'm the best at, which is what I just explained. But I also really like to switch it up and just do nice tattoos. I like to just do walk-in days with my friends that I work with. It's just fun to like switch it up instead of doing like I'm super grateful to be able to stay busy doing, you know, all the fun new school or illustrative tattoos that I do, but I also really like to step into outside of my norm too, which is, you know, once in a while doing like a black and gray piece, or taking on a black and gray sleeve, or, you know, just doing simple walk-in tattoos, or, you know, I'll try a little bit of traditional, but, you know, my friends will say that every time I try to do traditional, it's never traditional. It's just
it leans into your style just a little bit. You can't hold it
one
back.
little
Can't
thing
do
to
it.
fuck it up. And they're like, and I'll send it to my buddy Noah, who's like a hardcore traditional guy. And I'll be like, dude, is this traditional, right? And he's like,
Nudell
no,
traditional.
that's neo-traditional. I'm like, fuck.
I love it. Do you have, obviously the project today was super cool.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that piece you did today?
Yeah, so you know, Sam put out a post that I'm going to be guesting here, and you know, was hoping to take on some fun appointments, and it worked out. He reached out to me, and at first he wanted like a neo-traditional Tony Soprano, and I was like, hell yeah, you know, let's do it. And then he's like, well, or maybe scorpion riding a frog. I'm like, that sounds pretty cool too.
That would have been cool. I would have loved to see that.
And then he's like, and then he sent me 2 pictures of like gunfighters that were like black and white pictures. And I was like, and he's like, how about this? And I was like, shit, does he want me to do like realistic gunfighters? And so I talked to him. I'm like, so you want me to do like a gunslinger in like the style, like in the new school style? And he's like, hell yeah.
He was a cool client. He was a fun.
Dude,
he was a fun client,
awesome.
dude.
He was just totally open-minded, and you know, and then he was like pretty open-minded on where he got it, and then I'm like, cool, man, I'll just send you a sketch here before, you know, I head up there. And I sent him a loose sketch, I think 2 days ago, and he's like, hell yeah, I love it. And then I sent him the full, you know, color study version of it, and he's like, hell yeah. So I was like, sweet, this is gonna be fun.
It's fun.
And we got here, and just been a really good day.
It was a great.
Just doing-
It turned out awesome.
and he was a really awesome client.
So, and I guess I don't know, and you can maybe talk about some of the other guest spots you've
Yeah.
done, or how
Sure.
the guest spots work at your shop. Sam, this being your first here, obviously you booked a full day, a full day piece. You're going to be here for 2 days.
Yep.
and you have just 2 pieces you're doing, right?
Yep.
So I assume maybe at some point guest artists would come in and do walk-in days, or it probably varies artist to artist. But you want to talk about some of your obviously you traveled a lot doing guest spots at bars originally. But
Yeah.
like, how's that career gone guest spotting, and
Oh,
how
man,
does what's that look like usually?
I love having guests at our shop, and I love breaking out of the monotony of the everyday routine. I love working at my shop, but like just doing the same thing, being around the same artists every day. I think it's healthy for us as artists to like switch it up and, bring guests in or go guest somewhere. So for us, like, I love it when a new guest comes to our shop, or anyone new, because all of us always learn something new. And whether it's a guest coming to our shop or us traveling to wherever, I always come out of it with something new. It's a fresh outlook on everything, new clients, new vibe. It just, and then when I go back home, I feel, refreshed.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing. I think the more we can kind of move around and work with each other, whether it's, states away or across America or a half an hour away, I think it's all good. I think it's super important and healthy for us as artists.
Yeah, and we're in like a short distance guest spot. I guess at Justin's shop as much as I can. And I think it's going to kind of be a circuit for me. Like twice a year, I'll go and work with him.
Same.
Nice. So you'll be back to the
Yeah.
Beehive. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
not the
Definitely.
only chance you're going to have to see Justin here at the Beehive. That's awesome. That's good to hear. That's good
It
to
is
hear.
good to hear.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. So, do you have any memorable tattoo stories? Like, you got any? We heard some crazy stories from today, but not necessarily tattoo stories. Some tattoo stories. But
Yeah, this podcast would have been on fire if you were you're hearing about Sam's fight.
We don't need to talk about the fight.
Sam getting beat up by the lesbians outside of the C-103.
I was always curious, like, how many fights Sam has been in, and
Just one.
today I learned that he got jumped by
Yeah.
2 lesbians.
Yeah.
I put up a good fight though.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I think about. Let me think. Oof. Do I have any good tattoo stories? I'm sure I have a lot of them. I'm trying to think.
It's hard to single them out. There's so many.
Yeah. I've got, I think I've told this story before on a different podcast, but I will tell it for the sake of this one. I have Sam's first tattoo on my arm. It was a double wide trailer tattoo, and I didn't know he was tattooing like a grapefruit, I think. I think he was like tattooing on a grapefruit. He had just got this gun off of eBay. Or whatever. Tattoo machine. Sorry. Whatever. He got this off of eBay or something. And he was practicing on a grapefruit, and I was like, well, should we just get one? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm ready for it, And he's like, well, what do you want to get? I was like, I don't know. I'll sit down and I'll think about it. I'll channel some energies and think about it. And the Team America World Police was playing the freedom isn't free. It costs a hefty fucking fee. And so I ended up settling on freedom ain't free. Freedom ain't free on the arm with an American flag. And it's probably not the worst first tattoo.
Dude, I fucking love that.
It might be the worst for this tattoo.
It might be, but it's not going away. It's not going away ever. No, it's permanent. So, anyways, I'm going to ask, I guess, how about best tattoo advice? Whether it be to a client or to other artists. Best tattoo advice. You too, Sam.
Yeah, Sam, I've been doing all this talking. Why don't you go ahead?
Best advice for clients and other tattoo artists. So 2 separate ones.
Either or.
I would say, and a lot of kind of one of the main points of having guests come to our shop, like guys like Justin and some of the others that we're going to bring in are very proficient in the style that they've been developing for years. And I kind of want to bring that to our small community. So we have a pretty small town we tattoo in. So I kind of want to open up those doors for the clients that are around here to really give them freedom to come here and show off what they've been working on. So for client advice, if you're looking to book with any artist in their regular shop, or if they're coming here to book with them, just give them freedom, give them your idea, and let them run wild with it and put their tricks and everything they've spent years developing. You're going to get a really good tattoo out of them. They're going to be excited to do it. It'll just be an overall good experience. And advice for tattooers, I would say to just grind as hard as you can. It's a tough industry. It's a fast developing industry. We're seeing like young tattooers come in and they're just blowing their career up right away. And that's because they want it. They're hungry. They're driving, constantly tattooing all day and then studying after hours, drawing after hours. If you put the work in, you're going to get rewarded.
Hard work pays off.
Hard work does pay off.
Yeah.
And it's hard for a reason.
That's generic business advice right there. That is so, there's just so much truth to that simplicity. If the people that work harder will be there in the end. That's just how it works.
That's it. Yeah.
How about you? 20 plus years of wisdom here. Best tattoo advice.
Best tattoo advice for client. I definitely would piggyback off of what Sam said. I would say find an artist that has a style that you're looking for. If that style meshes with you, and you have an idea, give them your idea and just let them run with it. You're going to get your best tattoo that way. And for artists, I would have to say, find somebody who inspires you and build a dialogue with them, like go get tattooed by them, go see how they've gotten to where they've gotten to and see how they do what they do. And the best way to do that is just to keep getting tattooed by them. And pretty soon, I truly believe if you start doing that with a tattoo artist that inspires you, a whole bunch of other doors are going to open up for you. You're going to learn a lot about tattooing. You're going to learn a lot about networking. You're probably going to make a friend. And I think that would be the best advice, ask them questions, have them critique your work. Probably don't always want to hear what they have to say, but have them give their honest opinion of what you think you need work on. I mean, that's something I got to do more often myself too.
Yeah, I noticed just from like an outsider's perspective, outside of the industry, I noticed the collaboration is like, there's obviously collaboration in all careers or all industry matters, but it really seems like there's something special about the networking and the collaboration in your guys' industry.
I agree.
Because of art inspires. I mean, art inspires. So yeah.
Yeah. I think now more than ever, I think that with how vastly this industry is just
I was going to ask about the future next.
Multiplying and duplicating, and it's just, in 6 months there'll probably be 2 more shops in Fergus.
Right. We'll see.
In another 2 years there'll probably be 5 more tattoo shops.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm. What is the future? I'm a huge AI speculator. Ooh. Is it people are doing it?
Can I have a side question? What's your take on the AI in the industry? Or should we not talk about this?
No, I love it. And I get robots tattooed on my body because like I fucking love robots, but I also believe that like AI is, unless there's some sort of like boundaries put onto this, they are going to strip us from I'm going to go deep.
That's
of
all right. Go deep.
Of our humanity,
Oh yeah, they are.
Have you guys used AI at all?
All
like
the time.
if you need to like any question that you need to, like I'm trying to help a guy get a visa, and I'm like, I ask AI, what does the outline of a recommendation letter look like for a visa? and they just lay it all out for me, and I'm just like, this is too easy.
And that's
dude.
the simple stuff. Honestly, text generation is the simple stuff. I think that the generative art is insane. I mean, Blaze Buseth, he's a local ceramic artist here.
Yeah.
He has kind of taken a cool concept. He generates these images with AI, and he actually brings them to life in clay, which is really cool.
Whoa.
So he has this AI image generator that he's got tuned into his style, and he transfers those images over to real life. So I know there's tattoo artists that are using it for sure.
Oh yeah.
Anyone in your shop using it to like generate?
I mean, I didn't
base-
even know like the depth of it. The apprentice we're working with, he's like, dude, have you gone on to AI? Like, you can go right on your Instagram and be like, imagine a bluegill with a shotgun. And I typed that
riding
in there,
a buffalo,
and then it puts this beautiful art,
And there's like 12 to choose from.
and they're like, and you don't like that how that one looks, you just say try again, and then it
and
sends another one.
This was the whole. Is it moral or is it legal? Are there copyright issues? Because that AI was trained on some artists. They must have taken a sample size or a very large sample of art that was produced by a human and used it to train this AI. And now, so like, that's where I think that it gets really interesting in the technology is like, you could take your style and you could, and I don't know if I'm sure the technology exists today if you know where to look, but you could train a model specifically, feed it all of your old projects, and all of a sudden it's you drawing, producing stuff. I mean, the future is wild. It's going to cut a lot of efficiencies, but that's the creative. That's like, I don't know.
I feel like it takes the creative away from us. So.
Well, right. I mean, that's the creative part of it is drawing it and making it. So
And just seeing what people come up with, and if we're taking that like creative thing that you can't visually see away from people by just implicating that with AI, I mean, that's freaky, dude.
yeah.
And I feel like that's
Right?
what we work hard towards. People work hard to make enough money to come get tattooed, and then
And it's not
it's
just
our job to put it together and draw it.
The worst part is going to be, and I'm sure you guys have probably already seen it, where a client walks in with an AI generated image and they say, I want this tattoo.
That's starting to happen. Yeah. They'll send references and I'm like, oh geez, this is beautiful. How can I compete with these robots, dude?
Oh yeah.
And that's not, I mean, they're making movies, music, everything. I mean, I want to see an AI movie.
Yeah.
It looks like it would be amazing to see.
But
then it's almost like then I'm here supporting it at the same time.
Yeah, I'm like too aggressively against AI. I don't want anything to do with it.
There's like all these melty, trippy, dippy like AI, reels and stuff, and I'm just like, man, that is wild. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. So I want to watch it.
This interview is gonna get clipped up by an AI. For reals.
Clipped
Clip. Yeah. So AI, it's nuts. The efficiencies. I constantly encourage Sam to just be open-minded to it. At least be open-minded to it, because if there are minor efficiencies, or for sure there are efficiencies to be had by using it. But again, you don't want it to replace your creative, and that's what makes your art, and it's why people come back to you, and it's what will build clients that come to you, is knowing that you're producing something out of passion and out of years and years of your skill being honed.
Right.
So, what else do we need to talk about on the way out here? Sam, you kind of gave a little bit of your idea for this or the future of this. Do you have some other artists that you think are not lined up yet, but are going to come and guest? What's the future look like for I've buzzing through.
Just buzzing through.
Just buzzing through.
I didn't even know
that was AI.
That.
That was AI generated about an hour before we did our first episode. So
Okay.
yeah.
Right now we don't have anyone like for sure coming through. There's a bunch of people I've been talking to. Hopefully this will kind of provoke them to jump on and Come here as long as it was a good guest spot. We got one more day, but I'm hoping you have a good time here.
Yeah. How does the Beehive stack up?
Dude, this place is. I was super excited to come here. I know Sam's been working real hard on it. I see videos and stuff of it, like glimpses, but to see it in person, like this place is amazing.
Nice.
Super clean, spacious. Like I was telling him earlier, I love how everything has like similar aesthetic to it. Like it's inspiring. I think I need to do some of these kind of things at my shop as well. So I'm super happy to be here, and I'll be happy to come back.
Awesome.
It's
yeah. And if you guys see this and you're an artist, reach out to us and we can hook up a guest spot with either our shop or with Justin's shop.
Yeah, and if you need a place to stay, I've got a king size bed in the basement. So the offer's on the table.
Or a hotel. Works good too.
Or a hotel. We got some fine hotels too.
Will you be in that king size bed?
I mean, it's where I sleep, man. That's,
just clear that
it's
up.
just part of the package. It's to be assumed I'm going to be in that bed.
All right.
Oh, well, Justin, thank you.
Yes.
Sam, thank you.
Thanks, biddies.
Yeah, I'm excited. This is fun. It's a good break for me to get out of this and do something different than I normally do. So
Yeah, this is fun.
I hope to do more of these. And when you come back, we'll do another episode. We'll think of some other things, some other interesting topics to dive into. So
Beautiful.